Okay, let's get into our next discussion now. Members of the House of Representatives on Tuesday held a closed-door session with service chiefs along with the Minister of Defense and Interior over the increased spate of kidnapping, agitations and high-level criminality in the country.
Now, the meeting was as a result of summons issued by the lower chambers to the interested parties last Thursday. Let's see this report.
The recent increase of kidnap cases in the country has heightened tension in Nigeria, with many residents now starting to panic and question government's ability to guarantee the safety of their lives. This, as well as other equally grave issues, prompted the Green Chamber to summon service chiefs to brief the House on immediate measures to take to curb the rising level of tensions in the country. The meeting took place behind closed doors. After a long wait, the closed-door session ended with the security chiefs walking out without waiting to brief newsmen.
General, sir, how did the meeting go? Just very briefly, just tell us how the meeting went.
Well, I'm not authorized to talk on this, but I meet my minister on this.
Some members of the House expressed their views about the meeting.
There is need for more collaboration among the agencies. In a situation where agencies are trying to outplay each other, trying to say, oh, let me get the credit, it does not arise. So we have realized that there is need for more synergy amongst all the security agencies. Secondly, there is need for manpower, there is need for innovations.
It became a bit of concern for us because just about everywhere you turn, every day you hear or see of new cases of, armed robberies here, kidnapping there, Boko Haram over there. That has been the theater for so many years. I think I read some place in Edo where, classrooms were taken over by cows. We would like to have these people become more alert to what they are supposed to do. I think that's the concern of everybody. We cannot sit here and just say, well, it's not your concern. Why are you here? It is our concern.
Even the communities, we have to, police and the other security agencies, they have to go inside and to intervene, because some of the communities, they know some criminals hiding their areas, because if the community have the information, they can alert to the security to take the major actions.
Other issues raised in the meeting included incessant raids on communities carried out by cattle herdsmen and increasing cases of armed robbery.
All right, let's get into this now. Joining us from our Abuja studio is Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Police, Jimoh Moshood. Jimoh, it's good to have you this morning. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning to you in Lagos.
All right, and we have on Skype.
Also, yes, indeed, via Skype, security consultant Onah Ekhomu. Good morning and thanks so much for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Okay.
Jimoh, thank you so much.
All right, Jimoh, let me start with you here. I know you're very familiar with some of the kidnapping issues here and there, and especially in Lagos, where we have issues of a cult gang known as Badu. I know you're very familiar with that. But over the months, over the years, it seems the security agency have not been able to crack and finally put an end to this cult attacks here and there. How challenging is it for the police?
Thank you so much. Every period of time, the security issue with the police have to rise to the occasion to deal with. This is not an exception, because we have recorded successes in most areas of security concerns, especially on the issue of kidnapping and other violent crime. And the issue of the Badu is being dealt with head-on. The police command in Lagos are doing so. The other units that are being set up by the Inspector General of Police to go into to work under the supervision of Commissioner of Police in charge of Lagos Police Command are equally working. And I want to say we have made a lot of arrests in this regard, and we are still going deep down to ensure that we reduce to the very minimum the activities of this cult group and other related cult group in Lagos and throughout Nigeria. This was part of the deliberation during the last IGP conference with Commissioner of Police and Assistant Inspector General of Police, and even to the level of the DIG were all present. So new modalities are being worked out and are being implemented as we speak. We go further to ensure that prevention is much more appropriate because more crime prevention and control strategy are being introduced, which currently being implemented and it's yielding positive results. So the members of the public are encouraged to be patient with us and to give every relevant information they can gather about this activity of these courts to the police. There's no doubt that the successes we've recorded in area of kidnapping and in fighting cultism and other violent crimes are due to the cooperation and the support of the public, and that is why we're engaging the public the more. But we want people to know that parental guidance have a role to play in ensuring that they know what their children are doing, because in yesteryear you see people who are full-grown adults that are into cultism, but nowadays you have people from primary school, equally in secondary school, even before university, going into cultism, and this is not too good for the society. So we are making progress in that regard, and I want everybody to know that we are not overstretched and we are not overwhelmed.
All right, I wonder how much impact this progress is. New modalities, in your words, and new strategies that are working. But let me, direct this question to Onah Ekhomu. Onah Ekhomu, now, the Police P.R.O has said that new strategies are working. But in the midst of all of that, you have a Bado phenomenon in Ikorodu. Kidnappings here and there. Of course, one is reminded of the case of Evans, the billionaire kidnapper, who was just arrested
last Sunday.
Yes, on Sunday. And of course, Vampire was gunned down by the police in, of course, Southeast. Now, looking at all of this, why do we then have an increase in kidnapping, armed robbery, and all of that?
Thank you very much. I think this is just an indication of where we are going as a society. The rise in crime and criminality is quite disturbing. And the kidnap case or the kidnap crime is something that is accelerating, beyond a measure that even decent Nigerians should stomach. Nigeria has perhaps, I don't know what to call it, the infamy of being a very kidnap-prone country. Most young men overseas, they don't want to come home because they might get kidnapped, and it has happened to so many of their colleagues. So they have good reason, they have evidence. So I think, but first, I want to congratulate the Police P.R.O and the police agency on the arrest of Evans, the billionaire kidnapper, because that's a good one. At least when we take these criminals, these hardened criminals, out of the field of battle, we know that we are reducing, or we are, to use the words of the federal government, we are decimating their population. But having said that, I think the key to solving this problem of kidnap is really, it lies somewhere else. It lies with intelligence. It lies with proactivity. It lies with citizen involvement in their own security. I think that is what we really, because the police will do its own detection work after the fact. The police cannot prevent or will not bother to keep someone from getting kidnapped in the first place. But you suffer captivity, maybe even death. But after the fact, the police can now conduct investigations and maybe get the perpetrators. So to add to the list of infamous kidnappers that you mentioned just now, you mentioned Evans, you mentioned Vampire. Don't forget OCC Kanku, and then also don't forget Kevin from Delta, the master kidnapper, who actually set up a kidnap university in Delta State and trained 300 kidnappers.
Wow. Okay, Onah, let me stay with you here before we go back to the Police P.R.O. Now, some analysts or some experts have said that private security agencies have what it takes sometimes when it comes to the best practices. Sometimes new tactics that are, found across parts of the world. How collaborative are they with the Nigeria police? Because you are there, not within the police system, but you are there. So I'd like to know, how is there collaboration between the Nigeria police and some of these private enterprises?
Thank you very much, sir. Well, certainly there is a lot of room for cooperation and collaboration. We have serious control of technologies on the private side. We control the technology, as it were, on the private side. And we have access, we have personnel, protective detail, custodial detail, guard detail, those kinds of things. But the point remains that it is the constitutional responsibility of the police agency and other national security agencies to provide that service. Now, what the role of private security will be here is in prevention. For example, we do a lot of security awareness lectures for organizations and individuals. We provide things to target-hardened individuals, because if the target, which is from the point of view of the bad guy, you are the target, and you from your own point of view, you are the asset. Now, if you are target-hardened, it makes it more difficult for the kidnapper to grab you. So, and then you have to do, and there are other things that we provide by way of services to people, escort service, using armed police personnel, so that people cannot be intercepted on the highway and snatched from the way.
All right, let me bring in the Police P.R.O Jimoh Moshood, actually. Now, you talked about citizen involvement. I wonder what kind of incentives there are to ensure that citizens actually partner with police to provide information. It is obvious that these kidnappers, armed robbers and the like have gone totally high-tech. Jimoh Moshood, if you heard my question, this question is for the PRO.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you are hearing me too. The Nigerian Police Force is the lead agency in internal security. We are established by the Constitution. I think the Nigerian Police Force and the military are the sole agency in terms of security that established Constitution. Other security agencies were established by various acts of National Assembly. But that does not mean they are unlawful. We are working in synergy with other security agencies and safety agencies to render Nigerians safe, including the private practitioners, to know that within the space of policing Nigerian, we bring in everybody on board, including the public, and that's where the public engagement comes in. Because if you may recall that when the IGP, the current IGP, Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim Puto Idris, came on board, he introduced the Eminent Persons Forum, which is crops of retired police officers, retired military officers, civil servants, traditional rulers, and the likes, even to the level of the artisan, to bring their wealth of experience to assist police formation across the country in providing valuable information and prompt information to the police in tackling crime. If you look at the parade of Evans, and that is the where I'm trying to get into, of bringing in the public, and for the public and members of the public to know that they have civic responsibility to inform police of anything they notice about crime, especially on towards incident or happening.
Yes, they do have the civic responsibility. If I may come in, Jimoh Moshood, they do have the civic responsibility. But what are you doing to ensure that citizens actually buy in on this civic responsibility and provide information?
Thank you so much. I want you to allow me to round up that aspect of what I'm trying to push forward for you to know. When we paraded Evans, I showed to the public the leg chain that were fabricated by a local welder that they use in restraining people from escaping from their camps. And you can know that none of a member of this group, we paraded him along with 6 other members of his vicious gang. None of them produced this locally made leg chain. It is is produced by members of the public. And members of the public have the responsibility to inform the nearest police station that, look, have a suspicion over somebody that are giving me a tax, because we are going to go deep into investigation of this matter to ensure that everybody involved in one way or the other in facilitating the commission of the offense, or probably after committing the offense, they have one rule or the other that have made Evan evasive for the police security agency for this long, equally apprehended. We are sophisticated now. I want members of the public across Nigeria to know that it's not police of yesteryear that will be thinking that, no, we are not averse to technology. We are using our technical platform and other intelligence guarding ability of the force to ensure that we crack every crimes and criminality in the country. The arrest of Evan and his gang is the beginning to the end of kidnapping in Nigeria. You know, we brought down the vampire during a gun duel with our police personnel in a forest in Rivers State. He was very active in kidnapping in Owerri, Imo State, and other southeastern states, including the South. And you now agree with me that the rate of kidnapping in that region have seriously gone down. And equally of note is the arrest of those who kidnapped the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bagudu. All the gang were rounded up. And in this regard, the reduction in kidnappings in those areas. So this is what we are doing to ensure that outside arresting them, we use investigation, because where we put in crime prevention and control strategies which are working, those crimes that cannot be prevented, detection are used to ensure that we use that effective deterrent to who will be criminal. So by and large, we are making progress in this regard, and these successes we have recorded, virtually Nigerians across the country have been appreciating the Nigerian police force and have been giving kudos and commendation to us. And this goes to the Inspector General of Police, because the IGP Ibrahim Putu Idris MNI was the overall commander of this operation.
All right, Jimoh, all right. You talked about sophistication earlier on. You said the police is more sophisticated now, which goes to talk about gadgets and intelligence gathering and all of that. But if I have to take you to the issue of the Ekpe kidnap of 6 students, today is day 20 and still counting, and the students are not back yet. So how challenging is that for the police when it comes to sophistication and detection of where the kidnappers are and rescuing the students?
Thank you so much. There's no two kidnap incidents that are the same. For every kidnap case, there are issues that precede the kidnap itself and the kidnapping act and the police action after such is reported. You know, there's no doubt that kidnapping is cheap than armed robbery. And it's quite easier for people to look ahead of in their modus operandi. In case of a student kidnap, we wouldn't want to say much about this because we are making a lot of progress in ensuring that they are safe and back to their family. But the most important that is paramount in our mind is the safety of the children. So I wouldn't want to be dragged into discussing the details of what we are doing in public, so for the safety of these children. But I want to say that the school have the responsibility, like we have been saying. There have been action plans that have been directed by the Inspector General of Police, which every command is implementing, and as regards school protection. The Inspector General of Police have directed all the Commissioner of Police to inform their DPO and give them swift order in relating with the school authority across the country. Because as we speak, school management are meeting with DPOs and the Commissioner of Police in this state to work out modalities for ensuring that they improve on school security across the country. And we want the school equally to know that they have a role to play in ensuring that their staff are profiled, because most of the school kidnaps have people who work within the school authority as suspects. In the case of the Turkish school children kidnap, we have 2 of the staffs that are working as the media workers there that are giving formations to the kidnappers, and equally people who are in the neighboring community around the area. But this is not to say we are not proactive. We are very, very proactive in this regard, and that is why those visible to to assure the members of the public, you say our visibility policing, police patrol team, stop and search, observation points, more and more are being created to ensure that we nip in the bud criminalities before they occur. There's no doubt that we are sophisticated, more sophisticated than we are before, and you can see this in all the achievements we have been recording. And as we speak, the Kaduna-Abuja road, the police development there are being improved upon. Because yesterday, the Deputy Inspector General of Police Operation, DIG Abdullah Joseph, on behalf of the IG, launched another round of intervention to ensure safety of commuters and travelers on Kaduna-Abuja road.
All right. I wonder if Onah Ekhomu agrees that the police is more equipped and sophisticated. The 300,000 men in the police force right now. Onah, well, the Lagos State Assembly has recommended more police commands in the schools, well, around Ekpe, you know, Ikorodu, following the Ekpe kidnapping and all of that. And the Police P.R.O just talked about insider information. I wonder how you would react to some of this.
Yes, the Police P.R.O is spot on. There's a lot. Kidnapping is a very insidious crime. And it's a low-risk, high-yield crime. And in terms of a threat map, it is easier for a guy to go out and commit a crime that, you know, will not mean a lot, that will not take a lot out of him, but gain, you know, yield him a lot of stuff. It's like Evans was able to get $1 million from kidnapping one individual. Now, having said that, I think, yes, I do agree with the PPRO. The police has gone highly technical. I'm familiar with the exploits of the intelligence response team. They are very good, particularly in, you know, detecting the perpetrators. Now, again, kidnap needs a different texture. That's the difficulty here. Kidnap needs the things that the PPRO is talking about, preventive things like getting school security better, individual security, you know, being better positioned. He talked about the DPOs liaising with school authorities, those kinds of things. So if you remember, for 6 weeks there, we had construction going on at Abuja Airport. And the security agencies virtually did route lining on the Abuja-Kaduna road, and there was no one kidnap there. But immediately after the construction of, immediately after Abuja airport, the kidnappers went back to work there. They started snatching people. So what needs to happen here is that, like the PPRO said, we really need to get more citizen involvement, provision of information to the government has a responsibility here also. They need to provide tips hotlines, because right now you have a tip to give to the police, you don't know which number to call. And every agency out there, because of this cacophony within our internal security system, everybody, SSS will give you a line to call, police, immigration, drug agency. I mean, that is bedlam. Even fire service, they have their own line, which I'm sorry, sometimes doesn't work. So what happens is we should have a tips hotline, or perhaps an emergency, like a 911 system, where we call in all emergencies. Now, if there is a specific case, like this Ebola case, that is the one you just referenced, the 20 of the kidnap Ebola model school, the police should give a specific line which will aid investigation of that particular case, so that the citizens can call it tips into that line. And then there must be a reward system. When people give information for the capture, detection of criminals, they should also be rewarded, because there is funding for this. There's actually a reward budget in the police agency which can be used.
All right, Onah Ekhomu, thank you. But let me ask the Police P.R.O before we go. The people themselves are very vital in the area of ensuring security and then prevention, when you talked about the issue of getting information to the police. Now, let's finally talk about the issue of trust in the police. How can the police ensure that the people trust the police enough to be able to give out any information, whatever they see, like they say, see something, say something? How can that be enhanced? Just 1 minute before we go.
Thank you so much for this important question. You discover that we are engaging the public more nowadays to ensure that we demystify people not wanting to come to the police. I want you to know that any information you give to the police is highly protected, because you have to protect the identity of the person giving the information and the informer himself, and to ensure that such information are properly utilized to have results. There's no doubt that yesteryear you'll be saying that if you give information to the police, you hear it somewhere. No. Those are the issue that comes up when you divulge information before you even give it to the police, because some people, before giving information to the police, must have discussed with their family, with their wife and children, and equally probably people that live in the same vicinity. So before the information will get to the police, it will come secondary information, because I want people today listening to us to know that information well protected are what we call intelligent, because if you protect the information for us, we'll be able to have results. But where it is being divulged, then when you hear it from another source, probably somebody now inform and the lead is blown open. It's not the police. All right. And that is why we have made accessibility much more easier. When you are getting across, go to the DPO of the division, one-on-one. And you know, if such information goes out, you know that it's either the DPO that are giving it out. So then we've created a lot of other platforms. The Eminent Persons Forum is there, the PCRC is there, and people are very active on this platform. And equally, at the level of the first headquarters level, we have periodic meetings with all the stakeholders to ensure that we improve on the confidence they have in us. And generally, if you look at the assessment,
we have to leave it there.
Have more confidence.
We have to leave it there now. PRO of the police force, Jimoh Moshood, thank you very much. That's how much time can permit us on the program this morning.
Yes,
thank you.
Of course, Onah Ekhomu, security consultant. Thank you so much for your time and insights.